Hey there, it's Joe from Oops All Games, and this week we've got another game to review in the form of Dynasty Warriors Origins. This review was written and adapted for video by me, so without further ado, let's slash our way into this. After 2018's Dynasty Warriors 9 received anywhere from mixed to negative reviews from fans and critics alike, mainly critiquing the lifeless open world and repetitive content, many thought the mainline Warriors games were over and done with. The Warriors format would still continue afterwards with Nintendo collaborations like Hyrule Warriors, Age of Calamity, and Fire Emblem Warriors 3 Hopes, as well as spin-offs in the mainline titles like Dynasty Warriors 9 Empires. But a new mainline entry wasn't to be seen until now with Dynasty Warriors Origins. Rather than the game feeling like a Dynasty Warriors 10, Origins takes a step back from everything and focuses solely on expanding the classic Romance of the Three Kingdoms storyline from the 1925 novel and original PS1 game. It's called Origins for a reason, as it takes the time to build everything up just as things would typically get kicked off. But unlike the original game, there are now massive improvements to the storytelling and gameplay. So what's this new game like? Well, as someone who hasn't played many Warriors games, let me tell you, at first, it felt more or less similar to the others. Nothing was drastically changed from previous titles as you take on hundreds of enemies at a time with nothing but your skills and a weapon. On the surface, that gameplay is just like how you'd remember if you'd ever played a Warriors game before. But that's just on the surface. When you dive deeper in, getting to know all the mechanics and weapons in play, you find it's more than just a simple hack and slash game. Gone are the times when you feel like button mashing your way through missions is the ideal strategy. With different abilities and fighting styles changing depending on the weapon you're using, you feel as powerful as the characters claim you are. What's also changed is the way you take on more important enemies, known as officers. Rather than it being in line with everything else, officer fights are more strategic. There's a rhythm to it all as you have to evade and counter their attacks while laying down some of your own. There's also a morale meter, as once things happen on the battlefield, either army will either get more or less morale. This can be quite a challenge to overcome, as when the enemy has the full meter, it truly feels like things may not go your way. As you do more missions, you get the chance to unlock new skills and attacks to further help you conquer your enemies. But main story missions aren't all you do, however, as spots will randomly appear on your map, which that itself has a unique method of traversing from area to area. From those spots you can go on a mini quest of sorts, getting more familiar with your weapons and skills. These provide a bit of a break in between going through the story and the bigger battles you encounter as you progress through the game. And speaking of the story, there's an actual plotline in this action game. You control this guy. Who is he? That's up to you. Everyone, meet Glenn. Glenn is a mostly silent protagonist, only occasionally speaking when the plot deems it completely unnecessary.
This territory is ours.
When Glenn isn't giving people the cold shoulder or giving intentionally vague answers to questions asked by other characters, he's trying to put together his memories and figure out who exactly he is. So not only does he not speak, he doesn't have any memories. What a new concept. This whole premise sounds a bit cliché, but the team at Omega Force made this story interesting, and keeps it interesting as things progress. And this gets taken even further, as around halfway through the game, you must make a choice that will completely alter the remainder of your playthrough. Because of this, if you truly want to enjoy every single ounce of content Origins has in place, you're looking at pouring quite some time into it. After you initially beat the game, you can go back to this choice and see what things would be like in alternate outcomes. But that's not to say you'll be playing everything on repeat. The 3 different paths you can take each have their own unique storylines and conclusions, similar to how Fire Emblem Three Houses on Nintendo Switch works. It also gives the characters much more time to actually develop, as Origins starts off throwing dozens of characters your way. At the end of the day, this game tells a full story with a thrilling conclusion that will get new players to want more when all is said and done. So after all this, can I recommend Dynasty Warriors Origins? As someone who's only tried out the series prior to this entry, I can say I was pleasantly surprised with the depth of gameplay and story here. Veterans of the series might be a bit thrown off by the new mechanics, and things might get repetitive after a long playthrough, but this seems to be a great new start for the mainline Warriors games that should fill fans of the series with confidence in new titles going forward. If you're interested in playing Dynasty Warriors Origins, it's available right now on PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S, and PC. And that was our review of Dynasty Warriors Origins. But of course, we want to know, are you interested in picking this game up, or have you already given it a try? Head on over to the comments section here on YouTube and let us know your thoughts.
Thank you for watching. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel and be sure to watch more videos from Fox, Illinois.